So long, August. Hello, September. This is Pocono Mountains Podcast, and I'm your host, Jim Hamill. We've dabbled in hiking before when we introduced you to some of the state and national parks in episode 18, as well as Delaware Water Gap in episode 7. Now we're taking a hike on the Appalachian Trail, as well as at the tallest waterfall in Pennsylvania. Hiking is a huge draw to the Pocono Mountains, and we have so many spots which you can experience whether you're a beginner or experienced hiker. Lace them up. We'll set out on the journey in just a moment. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, and with 2,400 square miles of rivers, lakes, forests, mountains, with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts, it's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more on PoconoMountains.com or watch Pocono Television Network streaming live 24/7 at PoconoTelevision.com. We also have a Roku and Fire TV app. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe to Pocono Mountains Podcast and leave a review and comment on whatever platform you listen. Speaking of the mountains, PoconoMountains.com has a great list of hiking trails all across the 4 counties. Just search for hiking trails and you'll learn about 25 trails from the shoreline of Lake Wallenpaupack. Irving Cliff in Honesdale is one of my favorites, and even the internationally known Appalachian Trail, which carves through the Delaware Water Gap and hosts thru hikers on their way from Georgia to Maine on the path. Which is where we start with Brianna Strunk in her recent story about thru hikers coming through the Poconos on their long, long journey.
There are so many different hiking trails throughout the Pocono Mountains, including here in Delaware Water Gap. The Appalachian Trail is a great place to spend the day, but for others, the journey is much longer.
3 months ago, Heather O'Connell took a leap of faith. She left her stable teaching job in Spain to hit the Appalachian Trail.
I love getting to see nature on foot. It's in human time, so you get to kind of take it all in slowly.
The trail runs from Georgia to Maine and typically takes hikers around 6 months to complete. Delaware Water Gap is about a halfway point, and that's where we met Heather.
It is so close to the trail that it's convenient. Sometimes you have to hitchhike into towns or walk further, and this one you could just walk to easily.
Presbyterian Church of the Mountain in Delaware Water Gap provides a complimentary hostel for hikers to sleep, shower, and do laundry of sorts.
If they're out there, they're late, so.
In the summer, the church also offers a free hiker's dinner every Thursday.
It's our mission of hospitality, and we're donation only. So a lot of centers you have to pay before you get in the door and things like that. We don't do that.
We caught up with Mike Stone at the hostel as he hitched a ride to stock up on supplies. Mike appreciates that Delaware Water Gap is hiker-friendly, and during his time here is patronizing local businesses like Village Farmer and Bakery.
It's literally 0.2 miles off the trail, so it doesn't get much easier.
The Appalachian Trail hosts a variety of people. Thru hikers travel the entire trail, while section hikers take on a portion. Then there's folks like DeAndre Bryant, spending just a few hours on the trail for his first hike ever.
A lot of people, a lot of friends of mine, clients of mine, like they go hiking, and I just hear the stories, and it's good to actually experience it.
The trail presents both mental and physical challenges as thru hikers tackle ever-changing weather, terrains, and elevations. But each new view on the horizon brings a new view on life.
It's just knowing that you can get anything put in front of you and you're just going to push through any rainy day, any big mountain, any river crossing. You just push through it every day, and it's a really rewarding thing.
Back at the hostel, Heather is well rested and ready to continue her journey. In a few months, she'll have to find a new job. But this experience is teaching the teacher to take one step at a time.
I have worked hard my whole life, and I just feel like this is a dream and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I won't regret, and I can always find another job.
So whether you're a Heather or a DeAndre, experiencing the trail is a must. For Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Let's listen to a longer discussion between Brianna and one of those thru hikers.
Hi, I'm Brianna Strunk with the Pocono Television Network. We are sitting down with Mike Stone from Sarasota, Florida. He is a thru hiker on the Appalachian Trail, and he took a stop in Delaware Water Gap in the beautiful Pocono Mountains. So we wanted to chat a little bit with him about his experience. You are hiking the entire Appalachian Trail. For people who don't know about the trail, can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, it goes from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Mount Katahdin in Maine. It's this year it's 2,193 miles. I say this year because it changes year to year for trail maintenance and fire closures, whatever. But yeah, that's basically it. It takes most people between 5 and 6 months, and it's a long, hard road.
And how many stops are there along the way? Or for a typical hiker, how many times do you stop?
It just depends on the hiker. I mean, you can stop every 2 to 3 days, or you can stop every week. It depends. I planned on stopping around 25 times.
And here in Delaware Water Gap, this is your first time in the Gap, and this is kind of a halfway point?
A little more, yeah.
What do you think of the town so far?
I've only been here for a couple hours, but it's really nice. The center that they have here for us is really nice. It's really welcoming for hikers. They're doing a free dinner tonight, so that's nice. It's convenient. There's a pizza place. It's literally 0.2 miles off the trail, so it doesn't get much easier.
Yeah, so the hostel, you don't have to pay, a donation is accepted, the free dinner. Delaware Water Gap is really a hiker-friendly town.
For sure.
Do you see that a lot in other towns off the trails?
Oh yeah, a lot of the towns are friendly. Way more towns are friendly than not. And everybody you go to just wants to help out for the most part. There's people waiting at roads, giving you drinks or food. I mean, it's a very, very friendly atmosphere.
And do you have to be really fit and really in shape to do this journey?
No, not at all. I mean, it may make it a little easier in the beginning if you are, but I mean, honestly, there's all types of people out here that are out here doing whatever they can. Some people go 5 miles a day, some people go 25 miles a day. It doesn't matter. As long as you have the means to get out here, it's definitely doable.
And some people hike in groups, some people meet others and hike together, but you like to go out there alone.
Yeah, I just like to do my own thing. I like to go as many miles as I want in a day. I like to stop at a view for as long as I want, which you can do in a group too, but I don't have to worry about the group dynamic thing. I just like to do my own thing.
And what's the terrain like? Does it really vary?
Well, Pennsylvania is called Rocksylvania because it is extremely rocky. There's endless number of rocks out there, and it's pretty tough terrain. The entire trail there's a lot of elevation gain and loss, so you're pretty much going up and down, 1,000 feet at least every day, up and down, but it's pretty tough.
And we were saying before the interview, you met someone who lost 50 pounds on their journey. You lost 15, so it does take a lot of strength and test your abilities, really.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this journey takes about 5 months. So for you personally, did you have to quit a job? Did you just have some downtime?
I'm self-employed. Me and my brother do construction, so I just didn't schedule work for this time. But yeah, most people will either quit a job or a leave of absence of some sort. The first time I did another thru hike a couple years ago. For that one, I did quit my job, but this time I've worked it a little better so I can take time off.
What is it about this experience that keeps you coming out?
It's just knowing that you can get anything put in front of you and you're just going to push through. Any rainy day, any big mountain, any river crossing, you just push through it every day, and it's a really rewarding thing. I mean, you get to see all these beautiful places along the East Coast, and it's just a rewarding thing to do. And to be able to step outside of everyday life and do this. It's great.
Really gives you a different perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it just realize what you have back home too. I mean, the convenience of a shower and a laundry. I mean, we're out here washing our clothes in buckets, so it's nice to put things in perspective a little bit. So,
And last question for you, the hostel here, the free dinner, how thankful are you for that?
It's amazing. I heard 2 days ago that this dinner was coming, and I've hiked 45 miles since I heard that. So it was very inspirational to see that there was a free dinner here tonight. It made me hike a little harder.
Love it. Anything else you want to say or mention?
If you ever want to go out and hike, or you don't think you can, make sure you go out and try to do it, because it's definitely worth it.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
You did great.
The thru hikers have amazing stories and perspectives from their journeys, and we have even more in a story about Delaware Water Gap. Head to Pocono Tourism on YouTube and look for the feature story, Welcome to Delaware Water Gap. More on one of those featured outfitters in DWG in just a bit. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available and leave a review and or comment.
These are the Pocono Mountains, 2,400 square miles of unparalleled, majestic beauty. The American bald eagle calls these mountains home. This heaven on earth was created for all of us to enjoy our lives and our place with nature. But littering is a problem.
We found this place clean and green. Let's keep it that way.
Please help. Go to pickupthepoconos.com.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. Edge of the Woods Outfitters is located in Delaware Water Gap and has a lot to do with the hiking and river trips that take place on water and land in that area. Chris Barrett introduces us to Chuck Cooper in this Pocono Television Network episode.
Hi folks, you are watching PTN. This is the Pocono Television Network. As always, we're happy to have you here with us, watching about all the great things in the Pocono Mountains. We are at Edge of the Woods Outfitters right here in Delaware Water Gap with Chuck. He's going to tell us all about his wonderful operation, which is very well known, highly professional, and something you don't want to miss. And we're going to also ask him some questions about Delaware Water Gap itself, which has a really, really great history right here in the Pocono Mountains. Chuck, thanks for being with us. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Thanks, Chris. We do canoes, kayaks, and rafts here on the Delaware River. Our trips take place within the national park through the Delaware Water Gap. Lazy river paddling, great for families and all ability levels. It's great for first timers. We've got bike rentals. We've got a Appalachian Trail backpacker shop, services the Appalachian Trail hikers that come through town. So right here in the Gap, we're just minutes away from the national park. We're 2 blocks from the Appalachian Trail and very close to the river access points.
So talk to me a little bit about the Gap itself. How much has it really changed in the last 50 to 100 years?
Well, it's going back a long way, but it started off as the original vacation destination for America, with the trains brought people out from New York City. Since then, the highways came along and people kind of dispersed, and then in the 80s we had a big vacation boom with the big resorts that came. They went in decline, and then they built brand new resorts, so now we're in a new vacation boom with all of the water parks and casinos that are in the area now. It's bringing lots of great people to the area, and they get out and enjoy the outdoors in the national park as well.
So the Gap is really beautiful. Tell us just a little bit about the waterway. You were just telling us before about how clean it is.
It's the cleanest river on the East Coast. It's protected all the way to its source in the Catskill Mountains. It's the longest undammed river on the east, and here in this park we've got about 40 miles of river. There's no private property. It's everyone can come and enjoy the river on their own terms, whether it's fishing or swimming or boating. Whatever you want to do, you can go out and enjoy it. It's perfect for everybody.
So then if a guest came to visit you folks and they wanted to rent a kayak or canoe, or say a canoe, and then they wanted to camp somewhere along the river, can they do that? How would they do that?
Absolutely. We've got trips that are 2 hours long, and we've got trips that are 3 days long. So depending on what group you have, what kind of trip you're desiring, we can set you up with whatever you're looking for. The multi-day canoe camping trips are outstanding. Primitive campsites are really some of the best on the East Coast.
Primitive, wow, what's that mean? What's a primitive campsite?
A primitive campsite is a site that is not accessible by the road. There is a fire ring, and that's about it.
So it's not a glamping site, right? No glamping.
It's not a glamping site. It's maybe for a more seasoned camper or somebody who wants to get off the beaten path, you know, not be bothered by the crowds or the people with the cars and all that. So if you want to really experience a real wilderness area, this is a perfect place to come camping.
So what about the fishing? I heard that this is one of the best freshwater fisheries in the U.S., correct?
That's correct, yep. The macroinvertebrates tell the tale. That's the basic building block of, you know, the sign of a healthy river. And you've got all manner of amphibians, great selection of fish from shad to smallmouth bass, and then lots of birds of prey that are really prevalent in this park. If you go out on one of our trips, you're almost definitely going to see a bald eagle. They've made a huge home here in the park, and it's great to see the whole ecosystem, you know, from start to finish.
So I know we were on the river one day. We actually saw a bald eagle come down and go for a fish in the river and come right back out. So you see that pretty often, right?
We do, yeah, all the time.
So just one more question I wanted to ask. What's your favorite part about Delaware Water Gap and the river itself? I mean, you've made a living with it and you've made a vocation with it. I think you're very passionate about it.
Well, the Gap is a special place. The village of Delaware Water Gap is a great place to, there's wonderful restaurants here. This is a great place to come and decompress before you get on the river and also after your trip. We're so close to the hiking trails and the river and the biking trail that it's really just a great place to come. If you have any kind of interest in outdoor adventure, this is the perfect place to start.
And that's one of the things I did forget, so the hiking piece of it. So you can really hike pretty far along the river right up into New York, correct? And from here.
Yeah, the Appalachian Trail, you know, we've got, you know, 30, 40 miles of Appalachian Trail that goes through this park. And, you know, this is the southernmost point in New Jersey and the northernmost point in Pennsylvania for the Appalachian Trail.
Thank you, Chuck, so much for being with us today and giving us your time. This is Chuck. He owns the Edge of the Woods Outfitters right here in Delaware Water Gap. It's a wonderful place to visit. Chuck can set you up with everything on the river and everything you want to know. He's the guy you want to ask. He's got wonderful guides and it's a wonderful place. So please start your day here in Delaware Water Gap. It could be a beautiful fall day like this. We'd be happy to have you. For PTN, I'm Chris Barrett. As always, thanks for watching.
Finally, we have a Pocono Mountains podcast extra from a spring episode of Pocono Mountains Magazine, hiking Raymondskill Falls in the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area. Enjoy, everybody.
We all need to be reminded of the do's and don'ts when it comes to hiking. You want to be safe and you want to be careful that you're not leaving anything behind. So we wanted to talk to the pros, and today, Kathleen Sant with the Park Service joined us for a hike.
Before we go out though, I just want to make sure that we have everything that we need and that we're going to be safe on the trail. So one of the things I brought was a jacket because it's a little bit chilly today and the weather keeps changing on us. I just want to make sure that I've got some extra layers, which is always a good idea. And then I've got my small pack, not too heavy to carry, and there are some important things in there. First of all, some water. Make sure that you have some water with you. It's also important to make sure that you've got some insect repellent, whatever type you like to use. You want to make sure that you bring a trash bag with you in case you find other people's trash along the trail. And if you've brought snacks, I've got some of those in here too, if you brought some snacks with you. And let's see, I've already checked the map, I've checked the weather, and I think we're ready to go. And I can already hear the thunder of Raymondskill Falls. I never get tired of this view, especially when you come around the bend and there it is right in front of you like that.
Park officials say it's never a good idea to come unprepared for a hike, especially if you're driving from a long distance away and you want to experience all that the Pocono Mountains has to offer,
make sure that you have a backup plan before you come with maybe 2 or 3 or 4 places that you'd like to visit. And if one of them is full, you can go visit another destination and then come back at the end of the day and see if you can get in then.
just take a look at that.
At the end of the day, whatever it was that you brought with you, whether it be a picnic lunch or a couple snacks, make sure that you pack that up and take it back with you to help us keep this amazing place clean so that the next time you visit or somebody else visits, it's going to look as stunning as it does today. It's really important when you get into some of these areas, especially the downhill sections, that you just watch your step because it's really rocky and those rocks tend to stay moist a lot of the time, so that can be slippery. So use the handrails and just watch your step. Today at Raymondskill Falls in Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, a unit of the National Park Service. Thank you so much for tuning in to Pocono Television Network.
Hiking, a tradition that only continues to grow stronger in the Pocono Mountains. Thanks so much for listening. Please remember to subscribe to Pocono Mountains Podcast anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.